your boy Drift and Shinobi. We are back for the Overnights podcast. Today we have a different type of episode. This is the first episode that we've ever did something like this. At least for me and my experience doing podcasts, this topic is kind of something we wanted to try because it's more on Shinobi's side of the world, kind of, and some of his bigger hobbies. So we're gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself, and then we'll go ahead and hop into it.
What's up, y'all? Shinobi Radixan. I do YouTube. Like I said, I dabble in today's topic a little bit. We'll get to that.
Yep, yep. So today's topic, we're actually going to be covering music. We have a couple of topics for you guys. I'll just give you guys a general rundown of what they are before we hop into them. Something like top five albums, either a top artist, song, or playlist that we're listening to right now. Kind of our top five artists right now or all time. We didn't really have a specific one to do, so we just kind of mixed it. And then we have something kind of unique at the end, and I'll let that one be a surprise because I feel like that's something different that people don't do tied to music. It was a last minute thing we thought of, and we decided to do that. And it still kind of is relevant with the whole podcast and the whole theme of the podcast as well. So we're gonna go ahead and hop into today's episode. But I do think before we do any of the topics, I do want to ask you a specific question that I had. I wanted to
Yeah, yeah.
ask you when you make like your own music, because you obviously make music. Are any of the artists or anything we're about to list on these lists inspire you, or are these type of the people that you look towards to get the creative mindset to make your own music?
Hell yeah. I mean that one's pretty easy. Yeah. I mean, if I had never listened to one of the artists that I was in my top five, I probably would have never gotten into music as much as I am now.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, dude, like I said, I actually think your music is really good. On one of my videos, I don't remember which one it was. I do know in one of the Destiny montages, I did use one of your songs on
Yeah,
there.
and then it was I think a Valorant one too. I think.
Yeah, it might have been. I know I used your song more than once, so yeah, that song is sick. The specific one I'm talking about is really sick. And then, like I said, I like the idea of being creative enough to make music. It's not easy to do, and for you to make music and or make videos and do both, I think it's super sick at the same time because that's two different hobbies that are like kind of like night and day difference, but still in the same world in a way. So
Hell yeah, hell
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I wish I was good in the music. I don't. I'm only good on more of like the media side. I like to add like music to like montages. I feel like I have a good taste for like adding music to like a gaming clip or something. But like outside of
Yeah.
that, like my nah, can't really do much after that. But yeah, let's go
It
ahead and
ain't even
hop
that
in.
hard, bro.
Hey, I mean, I don't know, man. I couldn't do what you do. The rapping I cannot do like that. I could barely rap around. I could barely rap alongside songs I listen to now. I feel less confident doing it if it was my own words or writing my own stuff. So it takes a lot of talent.
I feel you. It does take like that confidence and being like used to hearing your voice on a track.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and hop into the first topic, which would be our top five albums. I think we should do it like we always do it, like take turns. Maybe we should do it like one by one this time.
Back
Like
to
trying to,
back. I
yeah,
feel that.
like you do one, I do one, you do one, I do one, like, and we'll just go like that. Mine, I don't know about yours, are not in specific order. Mine were just like I just threw the five down, and that was it. I don't know if you did
But
yours in.
mine, I so this topic as a whole, like I struggle with it because I said it. I think in the first episode that we started doing it, music for me is like food and water. So like my top fives, I was like, well, if I do my top fives, it's probably gonna be albums from my top five artists. I didn't want to do that, so I have like a completely different like list from my top five albums to artists just because I listen to a lot of music and like a lot of different genres. So it was like difficult.
Yeah, that's honestly exactly how mine was. I have different artists in genre. It's not gonna make any sense. I tried to
Yeah.
also. I kind of did that, but though I did put most of my favorite artists that I can think of because that's usually the albums that I listen to the most.
I
Um,
feel you. I feel you.
but yeah, I don't think it's bad to do the way you did either. I think it goes hand in hand, however you do it. So,
Yeah. Did you do the like top five of all time or like top five albums that right now these are the ones that in the rotation?
I think for the top of album part, I did mine more like all time, but I still think they're in the rotation because I still do
I feel you.
listen to most of like these ones are probably just the ones I listen to like the most. Like I could just throw
Got you.
on
Got
and
you.
then I listen to. So I wouldn't say necessarily like they're all time because like It's not. Oh yeah, I guess it is all time. I guess I don't that through. Yeah, I did that one all time. The only one that I did like all time was the artist one. That one was kind of like not my all time, but like the most like
Yeah,
set
I kind of did
amount of
that too.
artists.
Yeah.
But the albums I feel like are these are the ones I listen to the most and or are interchangeable. Some of them, but most of the time these are the ones I listen to the most.
Bet, bet, bet. What's the first one?
All right, for me, the first one is wait, we should probably name some songs from the album too, so people have an idea of what album they're. Just letting you know, like just maybe like
Okay,
the most
okay.
famous one or just a couple. But for me, it is One X by 3 Days Grace. That's like you know, OG 2000s rock music. I feel like that's like the easiest one
Yeah.
for me. It's also like one of my favorite bands. So that one has like Animal, Have You Come in it, and Riot, things like that. So those are the ones that I like. Never Too Late's on it. Time of Dying, Gone Forever. Those songs, like they're most like, traditional album before they changed singers. I really do love that album, and that's probably my favorite rock band. So that's my first choice.
I dig it. I dig it. My first one, I don't think there's like a particular order. I think also like for the albums, I went with the idea of like, can I listen to the album from start to finish, like no skips, and like I'll be good with it. Like an album that sticks out for me from the particular artist, I like the production of it, the cohesiveness of it, the way it flows like as an album. So I took all of that into consideration,
Okay.
and I'm pretty sure this was like my first introduction, at least to this artist, for my first one. So Till Shiloh by Buju Banton. There's probably gonna be a lot of people that are like, "Who is that?" He
Yeah.
does reggae music. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So he does reggae music. This was, I think, his first album. I could be mistaken, but it was like I started getting into reggae music because in uni I took a class for Bob Marley. I thought it was gonna be like an easy A kind of thing. You know what I mean? Go in there, you listen to some music. The professor might, light up a joint and then everybody's having a good time. It was not that. The dude was from Jamaica and he actually used to do interviews for artists from Jamaica. So he's actually interviewed Buju Banton. He's interviewed Steel Pulse, which is like a reggae band from the UK. So he was super into it. So the first half of the class was the history of Jamaica, and then the second half was studying the lyrics of Bob Marley. And he set that up because the history of Jamaica influenced the sound that was coming out of Jamaica and that the artist had. So it was a cool way to like see that relationship. And I think that's why I really started liking reggae because I like that in music, like the storytelling, the metaphors, the imagery that you can like give. And Buju Banton was one of those artists that I, the first time that heard him, I was like, he's cooking, he's cooking. Some of the recommended songs is probably the top songs off of the album. Till I'm Laid to Rest, Murderer, Champion. Champion, I feel like some people might have heard it before because that one was like the biggest one off of the album. But yeah, reggae. Highly recommend it.
Yeah. Check it out. Yeah, I think it's cool when you like everything you just said about like looking at music from like a story point to view is really good. I love like how people can like tie music to like you said like either like a personal story, media, like anything like that. When music is tied around full circle to just beyond the music, kind of is really sick. I think that's when people have a better understanding of like how important music can be. Like a good example for me is like a lot of songs that I like are like, I guess it's like because I like movies a lot. So I love
Yeah.
seeing like a song scored to a movie in a specific scene because I feel like it elevates not one or not only the scene but the acting and then the scenario of the music. Sometimes having a certain song during a certain moment of the movie kind of just uplifts everything from the performance to the acting to the storytelling to the score of the movie, and I really do think that when um, music comes alive in a storytelling way, it really enhances everything. That's exactly why I love. One of my favorite parts about movies, me being a big movie fan, is when the soundtrack and/or scene has a specific song that you can relate to, because it also one makes you just like the song a lot more, because then when you listen to that song, like you think about that specific moment from that picture or movie, so it really changes the way you look at everything.
No, yeah, I feel like music in movies like really makes the movie as a whole because you can set the tone really well with picking like the right songs and stuff. And I mean, I might be wrong on this, but I feel like a lot of people are now paying more attention to that because I feel like there's more like custom albums, I guess, or custom OTs. Because I feel like it might just be like a placebo thing or like a what is it, a Mandela effect kind of thing. But I feel like older movies they would use songs that were already released, but nowadays they go and like they get somebody to make a whole soundtrack just for the movie and make the song specifically for the movie. Like perfect example with Kendrick and Black Panther.
Yeah, or Metro Boomin and Spider Verse. Yeah, those are good
Yeah,
examples.
yeah. Like they're paying more attention to that now and realize like, yo, this can like make or break this.
Yeah, I agree. I also like that they're actually like creating their own like type of like kind of like their own soundtrack, not but like an artist making songs, but like the actual like just rhythm or beat of the music. I think a good example would be like
Oh, like the
Avatar.
score?
Yeah, like the score, like Avatar,
Yeah.
like they have so much um unique like sound to go along with the environment that it makes it like stand out more than just the environment. Like you see the environment, you see the colors, the music hits, it all ties together to make the environment feel more world changing, more gratifying to like want to be there. Like it makes
Yeah.
Pandora stand out a lot more than what it does just by
Right,
visually
right.
seeing it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. For my next one, this one's a mixtape. I know we're supposed to albums, but I just can. This is something. The two of them are actually on mixtapes on here, but these ones I
I was
had.
thinking about mixtapes too, so you chilling.
Yeah, this one I just have to put on there. It was just the time that I really enjoyed this album or mixtape a lot. It was really evolved around a lot of like gaming edits and kind of like the intro to like that 20, I would say like 2016, maybe 2015 Instagram before they kind of changed it from just pictures when people were back in the day. Like that was also a big gaming scene. A lot of people did like collectible pages, sports edits. This was just like the song or album that I feel like blew up, and that is "Acid Rap" by Chance the Rapper. I
Hell
think
yeah.
Juice, his favorite song, "Cocoa Butter Kisses." Mostly Juice though was what I'm talking about in media. I feel like you would watch like OBJ highlights in his prime, or Julio, or any of these like OG basketball or NFL players, and Juice was like a song that was like completely like used all over media. It was plastered for edits. It was like the go-to like sports edit song, which was something cool to think about. But like just that album in general and that time of music, I just really enjoyed. It really went good, like all around media. So that would be the album that I picked. And I'm also like you. I don't think these are in specific order. So for people listening, this is not a specific order. It's just an order that I have them in.
Yeah, I kind of just like listed them as I thought about them, and then I was like, okay, yeah, we'll like lock that one in for that spot, but not like in a particular like 1 through 5. Yeah, I think acid rap was the first introduction for me too for Chance. And I'm pretty sure it was Juice also. But yeah, that era of music that was crazy because you had Danny Brown too, you had Childish Gambino coming up too, and them two together was crazy when they got on the track.
Yeah.
So, my next one is your favorite rapper, MF Doom. I love MF Doom. Um, I, I guess a little spoiler. I wanted to put him in my top 5, but I went with like a different. I don't want to say criteria, but like I went with a different like line of thinking for my top 5. But he's definitely up there. But the album, Food. I think everybody that knows of MF Doom knows this album. I think it's like one of the best albums of all time. I think it's just perfect from beginning to end. There's no skips, and the fact that a lot of the lyrics said on the album still relate to today is kind of crazy. Like rap snitches, what he's talking about in the skit where he's talking about like the different chemicals and stuff that they're putting in the food. It's just it's one of those albums that's just classic. And I just got it on cassette. It's such a different vibe listening to it on cassette and just going out and walking, whether it be just like in the city or just like strolling through the neighborhood or whatever. It's so good. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good album. Like I said, I'm gonna try to link some of these down in the description for y'all, or just re-put the list maybe in the comments for y'all to look at, in case you guys want to check all of them out. um, but yeah, my next one I think would be, this is where the music kind of changes, and some of these are shouts to people because they actually put me on. This one is going to be a shout
Hell
to
yeah.
my boy Kaideb or Manny. He kind of got me into this genre a little more. My family already listened to it, but it's like the older version of it. So like the newer version of it, he kind of put me on, and I just feel like a lot of people listen to this artist now, and that'll be One Thing at a Time by Morgan Wallen. I think that that album is kind of popular, and I didn't think that that genre was super popular, but it has had grown on me now. And that's album has like Last Night, Sunrise, stuff like that, and I just really like that album and enjoyed that album. Morgan Wallen has steadily grown to be one of my favorite artists. I now look forward to his albums coming out and music coming out. So yeah.
Who the hell is Morgan Wallace? I've never heard that name in my life.
Oh,
What genre is this?
wait, Morgan Wallen, country.
Oh, okay, that explains it.
Yeah,
Country is like at the bottom for me. Shout out Juice Newton. She's good. I like her. But
I'm
yeah, country's
assuming.
at the bottom for
I'm
me.
assuming though you've heard Last Night. It is more like it's not like the country you think about. It's more like the
Oh, so
uh
no tractors and
nah, nah,
sister
nah, nah,
kissing.
nah, 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 nah.
Okay.
It's more like that Shibuzi song, like the Bar Tipsy song that one.
Oh, okay,
It's more
okay,
that
okay.
like genre of country. He has that kind of music. Like, I watch after this podcast. I'll play that song for you. So maybe I'm 100% sure you've heard Last Night. It was like one of the most like played radio party songs.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, that was my next artist.
Got it, got it. All right. It's kind of funny because this is kind of where my list kind of changes too. A little bit, not nothing too crazy. But my next artist, Caliuchis, the album Red Moon and Venus. It's another one of those albums where like I could just sit down and listen to it on repeat front to back, and I would have no complaints. It's so good. Moonlight is probably my favorite track off the album, and I think I would probably say it's like her best album because I Wish You Roses is also on there. That's a really good one, and it's a good mix of showing like what she's able to do with English and Spanish. So it's a it's a definitely worth a listen, even if you don't know Spanish. Just the way that she sings and the emotion that she puts behind the lyrics, you'll you'll feel and you'll resonate with the music. I'll talk about that a little bit more with my next one, cause yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've never heard that album. I know who that she is. I just never heard the album. Um, so that's kind of cool. That's unique. I think this is the next part of my list. I think is going to be like widely considered by like most of our friends to be a a mention, just because like our whole group was friends of this person, and it just gives me throwback COD vibes or COD montages. I think this is like the face of COD montages. Like everyone kind of used them back in the day. BO2, Modern Warfare 3, Modern Warfare 2,
Mm.
and that is Logic. I think both of all three of his mixtapes I think are my favorite ones. Either Bobby Tarantino 1 or 2 or Under Pressure. I think those are the ones that stuck out to me the most. I couldn't pick one individually, so I just kind of bunched all three. But yeah, I think that was a part of the gaming culture scene in my childhood outside of just like music. Like I said, that's one of the things that's tied to like multiple things. I think seeing plenty of content creators I know make COD montages to songs like Ballin' or On the Low. or any of the other songs like Super Mario World. Just waking up and seeing a phase montage and or optic sniping montage or any gaming pub stomping montage, any type of Call of Duty montage to a Logic song just hit different back in the day. I feel like it was like, dude, like you knew when Logic started playing black screen, then you start getting like the nice like 3D out shots where like the cinematic shots pretty much where the characters like running through the map, then you
Yeah,
see like the title pop up, and then it goes back to first person, and then you start seeing these crazy clips and trick shots. To Logic, I just feel like that time was easily a memorable time. So I think that's why he's up there for me. And also, I just really enjoyed his music. He was one of the first rap artists I really, really liked. There wasn't like something my parents put me on or something that was from older because I'm really not into like
yeah,
a lot of like newer music. So he was like the first one from like I guess my era that really stuck with me.
yeah. Logic was my first concert ever. I think
Mine too,
yeah,
actually.
you went to that one. It
Yeah,
was for the Everybody tour.
yeah,
Yeah,
we all went. Yeah,
yeah. Uh, First concert, and I was addicted after that. So shouts out to Logic. My next one is I wanted to put this artist in my top five because I listen to him a lot right now. But honestly, my top five album list is just like an honorable mentions because I want to put people on. But it's
that's mine too,
Yuki
honestly.
Chiba. Yeah. But it's Yuki Chiba. The album, I don't know how to pronounce it. I think you pronounce it Ayen. It's spelled Eien in English. It's so good. It like if you know or if you're familiar with Yuki Chiba, this is completely a different album from what like the mainstream gives spotlight to with his discog. Pretty sure everybody has heard. I think that song's called Mamushi with Meg The Stallion. That's who Yuki Chiba is. For those that don't know, the best way I can describe this album is honestly like a score to a movie that hasn't been made yet. It's so good. It's a lot of instrumental stuff. He does sing on there, which is probably gonna throw some people off if you've heard of Yuki Chiba because you're like, bro, doesn't he rap? He does sing, and he's pretty good. My favorite song off of that album is Nagareru. It's so good. Like it's literally like listening and being wrapped around in an opening for an anime. That's like the best way that I could describe that song. It's really good. I highly recommend just like listening to it, just like in the dark in your room. If you have like one of those lights that you could put on the wall, just like drift away into that. You'll be floating after hearing this album. But that's why I mentioned like even if you don't understand the particular language, you could still feel the emotion coming from the production, from the lyrics, the way that it's either sung or rapped. I don't know Japanese all that much. I know like two, three words, and I still love this album. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, that sounds like a good show. I never really heard that album either. I think I heard the song with Megan Thee Stallion you're talking about, but I never heard his or that person's album individually. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
that'll be
definitely a
something to check
sleeper
out.
album. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how your list has like a diverse taste in music. I feel like mine has a little bit of diversity, but yours is like little like way more niched genres than mine. So it's kind of
I
cool.
tried to, yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. This last one I actually have three listed. Some of them are tied to memories with friends. One of them is another put on, and I know it's gonna be funny when I say this because he was just mentioning how he got mentioned in the last podcast, so he'll probably check this one out too. But the one that I have on here, there's three of them. The one I have on here is my personal one. Before I get into the memory one, or the memory
Yeah.
ones, and that one is 50 Cent, "Get Rich or Die Trying." I just think that was one of my favorite
Hell yeah.
albums from that time. I love 21 Questions, Mini Men, PIMP, stuff like that. Those songs are just an easy vibe. Throw on 50 Cent, the vibe is set.
I mean,
That's a
it's
good
a
one.
classic ass album.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next one I think is this one could have been specified in the topic that we're doing later, but I had other ones picked out for the topics later, so I kind of put this one up here. And I already mentioned it once when we were talking about movie scores and stuff like that. I think Metro Boomin's Spider Verse 1 and 2 albums really stuck with me. That was the first time I've actually like really watched a movie where I really liked all the songs in the movie. Sometimes like albums are made for certain movies and not every song hits or like not every scene hits, but I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
Spider Verse I think was one of the first um, animated Marvel movies that I like. I am usually more on the DC side for animated stuff. So when I seen Spider Verse, songs grew like crazy with me. I don't think I did not listen to Sunflower and or Self Love after that movie for at least like 2 or 3 months after the movie came out and before. I think Sunflower for sure. Um, our friend group was addicted to. I literally remember going to see Spider Verse, and we ended up pulling up with all of our regular homies, and then JJ brought his friends. We literally took up the whole top row, and that
hell
opening
yeah,
credit scene to Sunflower when Miles was just sitting there listening to it with his headphones, the whole row was just jamming. We were vibing in the movie theater.
hell yeah,
Everyone was singing it. That time was a pretty fun time to go see that movie and or song. And when a song has connections like that to the movie, it is even better. And my last one is going to be back in what we call, this is a long story short for some of you guys, but when I got my friends all into Madden, or most of them played, some of them played, but I got like our friend Zerk and Fane really got better at the game and started coming over to my house a lot. There was an era where we had this thing called the lab. Julio might know about these stories. We had this thing called the lab where we would put multiple setups in my room. There'd be like three of us, three like janky ass foldable eatable tables with monitors and PlayStations all over the place until I got my nice other setup. Um, but we called this thing the lab, and we would just play Madden all the time together in person,
hell yeah,
kind of like squad up online in the same room. And nothing sets the vibes like playing a sports game like that in person, because when plays are made or things happen and in person, and you all could get up and shout in excitement, dap each other up like you're really playing sports on the field together, it's just different. And when I say that, oh my god, my voice is not cleared. Sorry about that, podcast listeners. But when I say this
he's
song,
tearing up. He's tearing up.
yeah,
Excuse
I'm
him.
tearing up. I'm tearing up. I miss those times. I miss those times. But we would always throw on. I remember Julio's been to my house before, and when I had the second setup where we would play Smash on and stuff, I ended up getting a soundbar for everyone to like throw on music when everyone would pull up and we'd play like Smash or we'd just chill in my room. Um, when it was just me and Fane, sometimes this is the way the story goes to Fane, he would throw on Olivia Rodrigo. And at first, like, I was one of those people who were like, dude,
Of
what
course,
the
of
fuck
course.
are we listening
That
to?
sounds just like
Like,
him.
what are we listening to? But then now, both of her albums have slowly grown on me. And now every time I just think of her album, um, she reminds me of Fane. So, cause he like put me on, and it's funny because like when I first, like I said, when I first listened, I was like, "What the fuck are we listening to?" But then we started listening to "Good for You," which is like her most famous song from her first album, and it started reminding me of Paramore. And then I was like, I started like listening to "Good for You," and then I started like telling Fane, I was like, "Dude, this reminds me just like of Paramore." And obviously, Fane didn't know who Paramore was. He's not really in the rock like that. He's not like
Yeah.
any type of culture to white people like that. So I showed him Misery Business, which is like the song that it sounds exactly like Good for You. So it was like, oh, this is like a modern Paramore, and I had already liked Paramore, like songs like Still Ain't Fun or stuff like that. Like any of Paramore songs I liked because I obviously like rock and stuff too. So it was cool to listen to the you know the the resemblance between them two. So yeah, that's why this album was on there, and it's just slowly grown to be one of my favorite albums because the hours in the lab that we spent listening to that album, or we listened to like Drake or Post Malone, obviously too by Fane. Some of the artists that I listen to when it comes to modern music are because of both Fane and Zerk. So I think that was
Hell yeah.
a album they made down there just because when it was just me and him, we vibed to her album a lot, and we played Madden. So yeah,
Hell yeah. This is like hilarious because I feel like our list, like the reason why we picked them is kind of the same because this is mainly because like I like really grew with the artist. I was there from like when they first started, and then just over time continued following their discog and everything that they threw out. But Tyler the Creator, the estate sale. For those that don't know, this is like the deluxe version of Call Me If You Get Lost. Call Me If You Get Lost was really, really, really good. It's very reminiscent of like the mixtape days, specifically Lil Wayne in the dedication where DJ Drama is just doing his thing on the mic and then letting Wayne spit. It's that same vibe, but the estate sale I think like makes it full circle and is probably one of the better modern day deluxe versions. Because usually a deluxe version nowadays is like, here you go, you're getting two, maybe three extra songs,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it. But it was like a pretty much like a mini album that he added onto it, and it flowed well too with "Call Me If You Get Lost." You can still listen to the estate sale from the beginning all the way to the end, and it's still like production wise, you can tell that it's something like separate and on its own. Is it my favorite album from Tyler? No, but that's honestly just because of nostalgia, and it's not even an album; it's Bastard that I really like, and a lot of people are gonna hear that and they're gonna be like, out of all the shit that he's dropped, you're telling me that Bastard, the first one, the most like raw and like cringiest one, is your favorite one? Hell yeah, baby, because that's what got me into him. That's what got me into him, and I feel like at that time, Odd Future was probably the last group that can get away with saying the most diabolical, heinous shit and still be like okay.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
yeah, but the State Sale, that's probably like the best Tyler album. That one might get a little bit of heat because I know a lot of people like Igor, but
I don't think so. I actually think some of the stuff you're saying about him are actually relates to me too. I think my first time ever hearing Tyler the Creator was Odd Future. I think Oldies is a song that stands out to me the most.
hell yeah,
Not only did that was my first time hearing him, I also think like for me, at least when I was younger, being a part of like the actual skating scene, I feel like Odd Future like slowly became a skateboarding brand, really popular. Like
yup,
they were just the face of like upcoming skateboarding brands. I think like people had like stickers. They came up with like limited trucks. A lot of people were just listening that era of like Odd Future, like clothing, hats, stuff like that. People were just wearing
yup.
to
The
skate like that.
Supreme,
Yeah, that was just a brand of skateboarding. I feel like so their music was very popular during the skateboarding era. I think Odd Future just kind of grew from there. And like you said, I think the stuff they got away with is kind of crazy. If you look at some of their Loader Squad videos, those videos are hilarious. And
bro. Some of the shit that they would say too, like
yeah, I literally reference this video with some of my friends all the time. Or there's two videos that we reference all the time with our friend group, and that is the birthday gift video. How you gonna
hell
bring
yeah,
me a birthday gift on my birthday to my birthday party on my birthday? That meme right there, that one, and then the Earl sweatshirt one where he's pretending to be where they're making fun of the lock like that series where you go to prison or whatever, and
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah. Beyond Scare Straight
yeah,
or
Beyond
whatever.
Scared Straight,
Yeah,
yeah, that video of him like saying the most diabolical shit to these people, and then at the end of the video, the cop comes in and they're like, "Oh, you're done cleaning," and he's like, "All right, bet," and he's just a janitor instead of actually being
yeah.
locked up. Yeah, that era of Odd Future was funny. I'm not super into Tyler as much now. I still listen to stuff here and there, but it's cool to see how he came from like the skateboarding group brand to like an individual artist who's arguably one of the biggest artists right now. Period.
Yeah, he's slowly like getting to the point where I think he's gonna pass Kendrick as far as like worldwide recognition. Just because he's evolved in his music so much and he has touched into like so many different like subgenres of
Yeah,
music. Yeah.
yeah, I agree actually. I wouldn't be surprised. I also think we were just talking about this with Gabe about like popular artists now and then, or kind of like how it works. Because I try not to look because he was bringing up monthly listeners, and I think that's a good valid argument. Is monthly listeners make sense? But I was like, it's hard at the same time because like a lot of like the in artists now are probably either still growing and or like
Yeah.
popular, like really gonna be popular. It's easy to look at someone like Kendrick, who obviously just had the Drake buff with the beef, and then
Yeah.
look at his long body of work. Obviously, like people are gonna be long. That's like people like fans of like Taylor Swift or like he brought up Bruno Mars. I feel like people like them that have so many more monthly listeners than other people. They just have a long history and body of work. They're kind of like vets in the game, so like they kind of just you know still bring in the views, and with them they can bring out an album like once every 2 years and still keep the fandom. If you look like an artist like who hasn't really made an album in like 6 or 7 years, they probably don't have as many monthly listeners. So it's kind of
Yeah,
crazy how much Tyler has influence now. I would say he's probably one of the bigger male um, artists right now, and I think he's growing, like you said, steadily to become even bigger than he is.
yeah, for sure.
All right, well, I think that's for all of it for the albums. I hope you guys enjoyed the list. Like I said, I'll have him send me his five for sure, or like his honorable mentions too, and I'll paste it into the comments below. I will also post mine. Um, yeah, make sure you guys comment on them, tell us if you guys like them or not, and drop your guys' below too as well before we hop into the other subjects. If you guys want to also comment the other subjects going forward, you guys can do that as well. We're always appreciate you guys commenting your guys' own list and adding on to the topics as well. And we will obviously reply to them in the comments stuff below. But let's go ahead and hop on to the next one. This next one has three different topics you can pick or options, not topics. We didn't. I didn't do all three. I don't know if you did all three or not. I don't think you did. I don't know if you did or not. But this one could either be your top artist that you're listening to right now, or a song that you're listening to right now, or a playlist that you have just been steadily listening to, kind of like right now as well. I'll let you go
Yeah,
first on that one.
I don't really listen to playlists because I don't use like Spotify or anything. I just use YouTube. So it's really just like the albums. Like if I did do a playlist, but it's just top five artists for me because I felt like if I just have the artist, then it kind of encompasses like all of the stuff, like what I'm listening to the most right now, and like my song that's been on repeat, like that kind of thing. So I don't know if you have a particular like order to yours. I don't think I have an order to mine, except for the first one. But
No, I don't really have an order. Mine's like actually just a singular playlist, and I just list out like the artists like in that playlist that I've been listening to, and I've been mentioning it a lot already in the previous stuff above, so it's gonna be kind of like on theme still. It's just what I've been vibing to. I missed the era, so I just have that as my playlist with some artists in there. But I'll let you go ahead and do your
sure,
list first then.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, this I feel like this artist forever will be on my number one just because when I first listened to them, that's when I got into music and that's when I got into rap. Because before, like, listening to music as much as I do now, that was like never a thing, which is really weird because I feel like everybody listens to music. I was kind of like one of those weird cases where like I didn't. If it was on the radio, then you know what I mean. Like it was on the radio and you listened to it. But I never like took time to actually look for artists, look for songs, and like have a favorite song and repeat. Memorize lyrics and stuff like that. And that is Lil Wayne. I feel like I got into him right at the peak because this was the Carter 3 had just dropped. He's literally has the entire game in his hand. Like this man would take your shit, would take your beat, put it on a mixtape. That song's not yours no more. That's his shit now. Like that's how powerful he was back then.
Yeah, I agree. That's a huge
And
shout.
yeah, I mean, he's absolutely insane. And then him comboed with Eminem back in the day, that was a deadly ass combo. Like I feel like a lot of the times when there's like heavy hitters on the same track, there's always like, oh, who did better? I feel like every time Wayne and M are on the same one, it's always like they were on the same playing field. Like it's so difficult to pick like one over the other. That's
Yeah.
a whole different story. But yeah, number one for sure will always be Wayne just because he was like the introduction to rap. And if I had never listened to Wayne, I don't think I would have gotten into music as much as I am now because I was like, I was definitely a stan for Wayne back then.
No, I agree. I was too. I think "Drop the World" is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Hell yeah.
It probably got to be my favorite songs, or top five songs of all time. Him and Eminem went crazy on that song.
Yeah, I mean, he was he was killing it like that entire time period. So he's definitely he's got to be number one. As much as I would like to maybe put like Tyler up there, he's one of my honorable mentions. Tyler, he's not on the list, just because Tyler also gave me that kind of influence. Just it was a different time, but I think Wayne will always be there just because that was like the introduction to everything. But yeah, that's my first one. What about yours?
All right. Wait, this is your top five. Are you doing your top five artists right now of all time right now? Is this tied together, or are you actually have a separate
So
one?
it was kind of a mix. Wayne I had to put on there because like all time. It was a mix of who I'm listening to now,
Okay.
who like gave me the most influence and like introduction to certain genres. So it was a mix of that. Wayne was like all of that in one. So
Yeah. I get what you're saying, but we have another topic though, like right after this. That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna spoil it a little bit because the other one was top five artists right now or all time. Is this a separate list from that one too, or no?
no, this is the same one
Okay,
because
cool.
I it was so hard to like just make it like five.
The
I was
song.
like,
Okay, I get
let
what
me
you're saying.
just put these. Yeah,
Okay, I get what you're saying. All right, so for before we hop into my list, and I'll add on to the next subject because I have the for the top artist song or playlist. I actually had a singular playlist before I did my top five artists. So before I hop into my first artist, I'm just gonna go ahead and shout out the thingy that I've been listening to. I'll link it, like I said, in the link description below. It is a Spotify playlist. It is called Nostalgic COD Montage Playlist, and it just has like older, like Logic, John Bellion, Hoodie Allen, Mac Miller, kind of like just old vibes for gaming. So that was that.
yeah,
I'll make sure I link that in the description below, and I'm gonna go ahead and hop onto this one with you, which is the top five artists right now of all time. Mine, I couldn't really think of different ones really because I still listen to the same ones. So some of them are the same, but Lil Wayne is a good shout. I think that would actually be my honorable mention. I didn't even think about putting him on my list, and he was a big part of my rap music too. So that's kind of a cool shout
yeah.
that you did that. But for me, my first one would still probably be 3 Days Grace. I think that's just one of my favorite bands of all time, and their music just sticks
Oh
with me a
yeah,
lot. So they're my first one, and then yeah, I just think they have a lot of good music. I love the the ties they have to also like well part of my childhood early wrestling. I think wrestling PLE promos and edits that kind of stuff was also sick. To 3 Days Grace. I mean, they have edits for everything. It's just Animal I Have Become. I feel like is an iconic song to a lot of edits. So yeah, that's my first one.
hell yeah, hell yeah. My next one might be like so out of left field for some people that know me because they're well maybe not. It's Louis Prima. Yeah, everybody has had to have heard of this man. Because he was in Jungle Book. He was the voice of King Louis.
Okay.
Yeah. So people have definitely heard him. Chela Luna is like another song that he's covered that I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of. It was also in The Godfather. Not like his cover, but they sang it. I'm pretty sure the first one at the wedding. But like swing and jazz and all that, like I love the sounds that come out of that. And Louis Primo was one of the first ones that I listened to that I was like, this, like I need to start listening to this more.
Yeah.
He's got such an iconic voice and his stage presence too. Like seeing videos of him actually like singing and like he's not just singing, he's performing with his band. He's like having fun, he's dancing, and you don't really see that kind of stage presence nowadays, which is funny because back then it was just like the band and like there wasn't really much to work with, but he just like elevated it when he was singing live. But Louis Prima for sure.
Yeah, that's a cool, unique take on music. Like I said, I didn't even know that that was the guy from the Jungle Book, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. That's why he's called King Louis, because Louis Prima.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's something you like.
Yes, sir.
You completely learn something new every day. I actually didn't know that, and that's actually one of my favorite movies too, from Disney and stuff like that.
Yep, that's a banger.
Yeah, bro. I think my next one I think would be this is probably like the two that are different that I am listed also. I'll go ahead and do those two before or one of those two before I do the other ones that are obvious from the other list. I think for me, I really love Brent Woods. He's one of my favorite oldies singers. I really do love that era of music too. Oldies is just something that I listen to all the time. So I think Brent Wood will always have a cool connection with me. It's also like super a part of I would say our heritage, kind of like Hispanics and oldies and lowriders. That's kind of like the culture
Hell
growing
yeah.
up around, and especially from my family's background. Both of them are California natives, so
Yes,
that's
sir.
that's kind of like the vibe. So I think Brentwood is would be the one I would pick next.
W's, W's. Yeah, the West Coast is the best coast.
I
My
agree.
next one, uh, slowly becoming like probably my favorite group, I guess, of all time. Baby metal. Baby, I'm like obsessed with baby metal. I don't know how many concerts I've been to. Um, we're gonna talk about it in a future episode, so I'll like save it. But like, I got like a really cool opportunity to see them, and they were not the first, um, not even like a group, but just artists that I got introduced with metal. I think, and I feel like most people's introduction to metal, like if they were never around that to begin with, like growing up, it was probably COD Zombies with 115. That was my first introduction to metal, but it never really like resonated with me. But then I heard baby metal in high school, and this was also kind of starting to get into anime, where it was still like that underground, like oh, keep it a secret kind of thing. Um, it just the evolution that they've been through is really cool too. I mean, starting off at like 12, 13 years old and selling out like arenas is insane to me. Like that's just I don't even know what I was doing at 12. I'm pretty sure I was just like sitting my ass around watching Scooby Doo and shit while they're touring and have like an endless amount of opportunity and stuff. But yeah, Baby Metal really good. It's I think the genre is called kawaii metal. So it's the lyrics obviously they're gonna sound like your typical like metal stuff, but it's always stuff like empowering and just like being yourself or like having a good time. So highly recommend. It is Japanese, but again, you're gonna be able to resonate because it's just like any other metal music. You're gonna hear those drums, you're gonna hear the riffs and stuff, and you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah, I also think if you want to get into that kind of music, listening to the music with like subtitles or reading what the message is saying is also a little more empowering to the message because when you physically like read and interpret it the way you're reading it, it also changes the way you view things. So I think
Yeah.
that's a good opportunity to do that both ways, listen to it and or read what the lyrics are saying and maybe see if it resonates with you even better.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good show. I've never personally heard them, but I probably would assume that I like them. I just like rock music, so that's kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
I think my next one is also going to be another like kind of like rock band, but it'd be like more like alternative rock. I would say like they're more like soft rock. That would be like Red Hot Chili Peppers. I really do like a lot of their songs. Under the Bridge is probably like one of those songs I could always throw on, or Californication. I feel like I could
Yep.
always throw on and never not be a vibe. So yeah, that's just the time in my life where I also just like you said, that's one of the songs I could sit there throw on whether I'm driving, laying in the dark, and Californication under the bridge is always gonna hit. So yeah,
Hell yeah. Everybody got like one of those songs or artists that you could just do that to. My next one is uh, I wouldn't say kind of a left field one, but Hikaru Utada. She is the one that does all of the main themes for Kingdom Hearts. So that was my first
okay,
introduction to her was from the first Kingdom Hearts. But just the way she sings, man, is just it's super melodic, it's super crazy. All her albums hit. She just released Science Fiction, which is just like her greatest hits kind of album. highly recommend picking it up because it's all like remastered stuff too. So you can go back and listen to the original one and then listen to the ones now, and then you'll like see the evolution. But she still has like that same presence on the mic from the beginning. Again, Japanese, but you'll resonate with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also like a popular thing now. I think people, since anime has grown, I feel like that culture of music has also grown. It used to be like you said, like
Yeah,
kind of like a hidden secret you kind of kept to your like close to your vest, you know. But I feel like now it's more common for people to actually just listen to anime opens or talk about anime songs or anime music or Japanese music like that in general. So I think um, I think that's honestly probably really popular like what you just said, I think is probably popular to most people now, especially because those games are also very iconic, and I think that people like today still play those for the first time or still go through and play them over. I feel like those games have just unlimited replay value, so I think those will always be something that is super popular, and that album will probably continue, or the music will, from that game will probably continue to grow.
yeah. If you like the opening themes to Kingdom Hearts, it's definitely worth listening to because it is a little bit different. Obviously, like the Kingdom Hearts one, like there's more like actiony kind of feel to the themes, right? But it's worth it.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I think it's gonna be worth it. I think that when a song, like I said, we said this multiple times already. I think when it's tied to media, it just has a better impact, and that's probably one of those situations where the impact from that song to the game, it makes you like really, really care for the game more. Like it's crazy to say this, but like
Yeah.
when you think about like, well, I don't know if it's just me, but like whenever I see like a video of a like a game or a show or something I did back in the past, and you just it makes you like miss the time. It makes you it shows that
Yeah.
you. It's kind of weird to say like you care more for that thing than you realize you did. Like it may just be a game to other people, but like for you that like it touches your heart kind of. It makes you feel
Yeah.
like damn like I inverse in this media. I'm immersed in this world. I'm immersed in this game, and there's plenty of things like that in the world, and I think it's cool like that to look at like a game like that with a soundtrack like that that just really pulls it all together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so for my next, I have two more left, but I'm gonna just put them together because I've already listed both of these people earlier in the podcast, and I don't really have much more to say about them. That would be Morgan Wallen and Logic. I feel like those are the last two on artists that I listen to because Morgan Wallen, like I said, now because of my friend Kai Many, I have listened to him a lot more, and like Logic for like you said, both of us, it was our first concert. It was music that all of our friend group listened to, and it also ties along to everything I've been saying about throwback media content, whether it was like COD content or montages or edits or anything like that. I just feel like Logic was a big part of that. So he'll always have a spot for me, and I'll always listen to his old stuff. I don't really listen to a lot of his new stuff, but a lot of his older stuff I will always vibe with.
Yeah, I'm on the same boat with Logic. I feel like his older stuff. I mean, I don't want to say he peaked like at that point, right? Because he made bangers and shit afterwards. But
Yeah,
his older stuff is probably, I think, universally like agreed upon. Like that's like the best Logic was rap wise.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So my last, well, let me do honorable mention. I only have one other one aside from Tyler, which is Hatsune Miku. I put it in honorable mention because, like, sorry to ruin the illusion, but like, she's not real. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the voice bank.
Dude, what the
Yo, no, she's in the Wi-Fi. But because it's like the voice bank, really anybody can make the song. So I feel like that's why it's in the honorable mentions because like for a lot of people, Miku gives them like a lot of like inspiration and like makes them feel like heard and seen, and for them to be able to use her voice and then make a song when they either can't sing or can't rap, whatever the case might be, to be able to put that out there and like have their emotions out there, I think that's pretty dope. But yeah, honorable mention. But on the list, Daft Punk. Daft Punk, I mean, these are the godfathers of this genre. Uh, I think everybody's heard "Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger."
Yeah.
Even if you haven't heard the original one, you've definitely heard it from the Kanye when he sampled it. They're they're what I would want to be for YouTube, because they were in it for the love of the game. They didn't want no fame. That's why they started wearing the helmets. In like super early interviews, they didn't have the helmets yet. They had the masks. I don't know if the masks were like any kind of like symbolic thing, but the helmets ended up becoming a thing because they wanted it to be like something completely different. And it's always cool to see like the different reasons on why artists become artists. Like MF Doom, one of my favorite rappers of all time. I guess honorable mention too, but I mentioned it in the top 5 albums. He was just in it for the money, but bro can rap. He wanted a bag and he figured, well, this is the easiest way that I can get it because I'm good at what I do, so let me do it. And then Daft Punk was like, yo, we just want to make music for the people. We don't really want like any kind of recognition, and the way that we look shouldn't affect the way people perceive our music. So I think it's that aspect of them is pretty cool. And then they ended up disbanding because of AI, which is hilarious because they're robots. But they felt like the AI was just taking away the soul that music has. And that's why they were like, well, we've been doing this as robots for, this long, and we've given everybody like the best music possible that we can. We don't want to further the image of robots making music, and that's why they disbanded, which I think is a pretty cool concept. Plus, I mean, they've had so many hits, like they're set, and I'm pretty sure they do like their own solo stuff, or at least one of them does.
They probably do.
Still,
Yeah.
so yeah, Daft Punk is for sure
They also
up there.
like they were kind of they're not like the founders of this thing that I'm about to say, but they're definitely like the inspo. And I don't remember if you remember this a little bit of a pocket of an era and a time when we were growing up, but they kind of were the forefront of what started like house party techno.
Yeah, they were the
Like,
godfathers of
well,
that
yeah, no,
shit.
but they were like the beginning of like shuffling. I think that era of people just wanting to shuffle, listening to like them or Skrillex or Deadmau5 or like the people who made like the house party rock anthem with that song is literally about shuffling. I just feel like that was like
Yeah,
an era where everyone shuffled. Like there was a time where like everyone wanted to do that dance. Like everyone just did that thing. It was like that was just a thing to do. It was like fucking Heelys. It was like everyone wanted to have it or everyone wanted to do it. And
yeah.
I just feel like that they kind of like were the inspo to that whole little era. Like before, we did like snapbacks and saggy fucking pants. I feel like right before the era was like fucking shuffling. Everyone was shuffling all over the place, or like you go to school dances, everyone was shuffling. Fucking, you watch YouTube videos, people were shuffling. Like it was just like the thing that people did. It was like I don't know. That little pocket of era of random fucking dances like that, or like the Dougie, or like shit like that. Like people, everyone just fucking did it. Like it was like I don't know. I feel like that punk was like honestly like the forefront of that. Like people like Deathmau5 or like Skrillex, they kind of just looked at that punk and were like, dude, like we could do this. We can make our music be as popular as that. Like it was like the inspo to that whole little scenario or little pocket of history.
No, yeah, the influence that they've had like across all genres is absolutely insane. And like it's not even like because they were so good at like their own genre. It's just like they were so good at picking samples and being able to just like flip shit and like create something completely different. I forget the name of the song, but there's one song where they sample 27 different songs and it sounds insane. Like for somebody to be able to do that is crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent. That's a lot of work. 27 songs, and then to make it sound like cohesive.
Like a completely new, yeah, and
Yeah,
cohesive, yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, but that was my top 5. I did do like most played song. I think was "From Me to You" by Baby Metal and Poppy, which is crazy because that came out like later, and this is like most played song of 2025 because they came up on my what is it recap, the YouTube recap.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy that it was that song because that was like halfway through the year, and I feel like there was bangers before then, but I guess I had that shit on repeat. Highly recommend it. Pretty good. Poppy's pretty good too. I guess another honorable mention. I like the evolution of Poppy. I think there's more people that know Poppy from YouTube than music because she used to do like the weird videos that people were like, "Oh, is she even like real? Like, is this like a cult kind of thing or whatever?" And then she evolved like out of that, and she started with like pop music, and she's like, "Well, I don't want to do this shit." So like, I don't know if it was like once the contract was over, like she got out of her deal or whatever. Then she started doing more like metal stuff, and now she's just like full metal. But that was my most played song. And then favorite like genre, it's either rap or metal. It's one of the two. Metal is slowly becoming the top one because I feel like that one is mainly in my rotation right now, aside from rap, and then city pop too. But
Yeah, I can't really think of a specific genre like that. That would be my number one. I kind of just listen to it like a lot, so it is different.
yeah, yeah, those are just like my top ones. Like for sure, I know like if I can only listen to like either one, like I'd be cool with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if that's the case, then yeah, mine would probably be like rock or rap too. Honestly, I'd be
Yeah,
fine with that. I'm trying to think
yeah.
what mine. I was blanking out here, not talking much because I'm looking at what my number one song was last year. When you brought this the thing, mine was "It's Been a While" by Stan, which is a rock song. That's kind of cool. That yours was that.
Hell
So,
yeah.
all right. Well, I think that should do it for the actual music part, or at least artist part. This next part, it still has to do with music, and this is like the surprise topic that we had. I came up with the idea. Well, Julio came up with the idea for this podcast. We wanted to do a music thing, so we laid out the ideas together, and at the very end, we kind of both brainstormed this idea because we thought it was something different, and it ties back to our podcast outside of just the music part. And this is going to be top 3 or 5. We didn't want to put a specific number on it because we didn't know how hard the topic was going to be to do, and that is music tied to media, like we talked about earlier. It could be like a movie, a show, a game soundtrack, anything like that, or it could be like something specific that we don't know the other person to talk about. It's just something that you want to bring up or show the other person that music is tied to. So we'll go ahead and hop into that. You've been going first on a lot of them, so I will go ahead and go first. For me,
For
there
sure.
is two things that are really, really a part of my childhood, and I feel like a lot of this has been a part of my past. So I feel like that's just because it tells a story, and this is songs connected to PV montages for wrestling. I was a big fan of wrestling, like during like the golden era of wrestling, like like the older wrestling, kind of like the
Yeah.
2009, like the Hardys, Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, like the older type of wrestling, The Rock, Stone Cold, stuff like
Right.
that. So this one is my favorite WrestleMania of all time, and I just remember growing up as a kid watching this on my VHS. I really watched this WrestleMania over and over, and that is the WrestleMania main event for WrestleMania 17 promo, which is like the biggest Rock versus Stone Cold promo, and it has the song "My Way" by Limp Bizkit. That whole edit leading up to the fight, and it's showing like all the drama, and then it leads up to the WrestleMania match. I low key for a minute thought that shit was real. That's how.
Hell yeah.
Growing up as a little kid, I really thought that beef. I thought they hated each other. Like that's the type of shit that I believed. So it was funny. So that's my first one, and then yeah, I don't know if you've ever been a fan of that or like the games or anything like that wrestling wise, but if you haven't, dude, I always tell people this, like if you like a specific type of music, dude, you got to watch those old pay-per-views. I know people may not believe wrestling is real or not, but just the editing for like the song on top of the drama leading up to the match, it
No, yeah.
changes the perspective of wrestling because it's storytelling at the end of the day, and people seem to forget that it does have to do with acting. So when you see the acting and the storytelling leading up to like the drama that led up the whole year to like their Super Bowl, which is WrestleMania, it just makes the build up so much better.
No, yeah, I feel that. I was never into wrestling like that. Like the only one was Rey Mysterio, just cause 619 and I'm from Dago, so it was like, yeah, that's the guy. I was more into like the amateur lucha libre type shit.
Ah,
Like
okay, yeah, yeah.
my yeah, my tata would take us, and it was just like random dudes in mass. It wasn't even like the heavy hitters in lucha, but yeah, that's like as far as I went with wrestling was Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I mean, he was a part of the era too. So don't get me wrong, he's a good wrestler.
I didn't he kill someone with the 619? Or was that like a just
I have no idea.
I'm just asking because like that was like the thing that would like go around in school like, oh yeah, he killed somebody doing it. He's
He
so
might have.
strong, he's so powerful. It sounds like it.
He might have. Yeah, I actually don't know if that's a like factor or not. I've never even heard of that until right now. So that's kind of crazy.
I don't know. It might have been one of those like schoolyard like you can look under the truck and muse there kind of things. So I don't know. I never looked it up.
Yeah,
In my mind, I want to keep it as yeah. That's
that's what happened.
he's hardcore like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my first one, and this just might be recency bias. Uh, I won't talk about why. Y'all will see why because it's gonna come up pretty soon. So I guess a little bit of a spoiler, but the Lies of P OST, it's so good. Like whenever I play the games, like yeah, I do like kind of pay attention to the music, but I'm obviously like with these kind of games, I'm trying to lock in and not get my ass beat 15 different times on the same boss. But going through, I guess whatever, man. I'll talk about it. Little sneak peek to the coming up. So I am gonna upload a Liza P video. Um, but while I was editing, I was like, well, I want to, incorporate the music uh, throughout it. So I went through like all the boss fight music. I went through just like the ambient music, even the records that you can collect. All of it, it's so good. I would highly recommend listening to all of it in its entirety. The vinyl records, it's more like actual songs. Like there's people singing and stuff on that. It has vocals, but the OST, like the score, it's so good. There's one in particular, and it's only like a minute long. It's the Stella Opera House ambient music. It's so good. I don't know who the lady is that they got for the vocals on there, but it's I like think about like Halo theme, like that iconic um I guess it's like opera or like I don't know what you would call it, but it's so good. Highly recommend just taking a peep at the whole OST. And I like that with the boss fights, they're so like crafted for that particular boss that you could like pick up like the personality and the tone of that fight uh, just from the song. So really good.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think I think any of those type of games end up usually having like unique soundtracks. I think Elden Ring was a little like not underwhelming, but it wasn't as popular as like the other ones. But I definitely think those kind of games really set the tone. That's kind of like with the new game coming out, like the Phantom Blade Zero. You just hear like that kind of like aesthetic to the music that adds on to the game. So I can definitely see that
Yeah,
game like Life of P having that be a thing.
yeah,
Um, for me, since you brought up a video game, I have two video games on mine. I do have one more wrestling promo, but before we get into that, since you just recently brought up games, I will bring up my new modern one, our new current one, like you said, recency bias. I think the album for Expedition 33 Clear Obscure was super great. I am now a fan of that genre, just that classical French style music. I think that album, playing that game, listening to that album, changed my life. No cap. Like just the
yeah.
intro
I've
to the
I've heard like the
actual
same
song.
from a lot of people. So
I'm assuming you've heard, like, you may not have know the name of the song, but the Clear Obscure song in the actual album called Clear Obscure. I think that song, which is like the main song that everyone used all over the place for like the Game of the Year edits, the TikToks, the song they played at the awards. That song, I swear to God, I could probably listen to on repeat for like 24 hours, a whole day, and not bother me. Like that shit is just a
yeah,
vibe. I'm literally like the meme for the TikTok. Like you start playing the game, and then the music just starts hit, and you're like, what the like you just sit back in your chair and just marinate in the music because that song with that game the time goes away, dude. Like you start playing that game at 9 in the
No,
morning,
yeah,
and you check your clock, and it's fucking 2 in the morning at night, and you don't even realize that your whole day was gone. Like that
yup.
game was a masterpiece from last year. Uh, it's probably one of my favorite games of all time now that I've played. Like I said, the soundtrack adds onto it. It is an amazing soundtrack, an amazing game. Yeah, specifically, Clear Obscure. That's the actual name of the song, even though that's the name of the game. But that song name in the album was amazing.
I feel that. I guess I'll continue with video games because I have two more on the list. My other two are from movies, but the OST for Kingdom Hearts 2. They're all good, but Kingdom Hearts 2 being my favorite one out of the entire series, like it had to have taken it with the best OST out of all of them too. It's that same kind of like you listen to the songs and I guess it might just be because I played the game so many times. You listen to a particular song and you know exactly like what's going on by like the pace and the tone of that particular track. You could see yourself fighting that particular boss or like those particular heartless. It's so good, and it's one of my favorite. It might be my second favorite theme out of all of them. I think Kingdom Hearts 3 was my favorite theme of all time. And the fact that Skrillex is on it, and with him getting his name from Kingdom Hearts, if you know, you know. But it's also tied to uh, the introduction of the organization from Kingdom Hearts 2. So full circle for him. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 OST, banger.
Yeah, that's like. I also feel like I don't. I've never played those games all the way through, and I know how popular they are. They're kind of like the God of War games. I've also never played those either. I just know how much
Mm.
they have affected the culture of gaming, and I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2. I feel like to me would be the one I hear people talk about the most, and or if not a lot of people's favorites. I may be completely wrong on this, but for me,
No,
when I say TikTok
I
edits or things like that of like all-time best games or just people editing games and stuff, that one is like kind of like the golden boy of the games. I might be wrong, but for me,
nah,
that's what I say the most.
I would 100% agree. I think it's just because like it has the most because the organization. There's no spoilers in this. If anybody wants to like go ahead and play the games, you get introduced to them in this one. But the organization is like a collection of people. Well, not even like real people. It's just like their past selves that aren't seen in the world. So they're called nobodies. And
Ah, okay, okay.
I think because of that, a lot of people can relate to it because there's been plenty of times, you know what I mean, where just like, especially like growing up, going through uh, the teenage years and like early 20s and stuff, trying to like find yourself, like not knowing if people actually like understand how you feel or not knowing if like people actually care about you kind of thing. And I think that's why Kingdom Hearts 2 is probably everybody's favorite and like the pinnacle of Kingdom Hearts just because it's so like relatable to like the characters. Like the it's one of those situations where like you kind of like feel for the villain and you're rooting for the villain almost. Kind of like a Thanos situation where it's like I mean he's not wrong, so why are we trying to like stop him kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, dude. When
But
you watch media like that or like anime like that, and then the villain starts to make sense, you're like, wait, why is
yeah,
home,
yeah,
why is
yeah. Let me
homeboy
switch
cooking?
teams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why is homeboy cooking real quick?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that's why it's always on like the top games of all time, just because of that. It's just super relatable.
Okay, okay. I knew I wasn't. At least I wasn't completely wrong. I just, like I said, I feel like I've just seen so much people talk about that game or edit that game. For me now, in my next part of the list, I actually have another game, and this one is kind of not a surprise to most people. Like everyone knows this is like the guy for me. This is the mascot of my channel. I think in Sly Cooper 2 specifically, the opening level in Paris, Dimitri's "Let's Dance" club song
Yes, sir.
when
The
you go to
banger.
do the boss fight, I just feel like the vibe and the aesthetic of Dimitri and that club music hitting it. The whole Paris soundtrack, it just is fucking perfect. And I love the club music and then the fucking like the beats are pumping, and then you just hear the "Let's dance," and then it's just like
Yeah,
that whole song from that game was just amazing. That level and that song always sticks in my head. Every time I replay Sly Cooper 2, I feel like Dimitri's level is almost my favorite level. Every time I look back at it, the Paris theme was just beautiful, and it's so popular that it's not the first. I mean, their HQ is there. I mean, in the fourth one, that's where their
yeah,
base is. I mean, Paris just becomes an icon to the game, and it's just where they resonate at. They end up staying there. So it's not like he is not a fan favorite either. He's brought back in the fourth one. He's brought back in the third one. The music, his aesthetic, the character, he just ends up being one of the better villains for the game. And that song is just something that was a part of my childhood. Every single time I love that soundtrack, I love that song. So that level alone was one of the best design levels in my opinion, and it just fits the game. I mean,
agree.
Sly Cooper's the thief, and what better way to hold the highs than in Paris? You see the Eiffel Tower in the
Yeah,
back on the rooftops of Paris. That just makes sense.
yeah. For people that haven't played, Dimitri is like this pimp lizard from I don't even know what that fucking accent is that he's got. But like think of like an Italian like mob boss. He's got like the little like beer belly and like he ugly as shit, but he pulling hoes. Like he got motion. This bro
Yeah,
got bread. Like that's why he was a fan favorite because he also evolved like throughout the games. I won't spoil it, but like that's why he's the boy.
yeah. He went from like I don't even know, like you said, I don't even know the accent you say. He wanted to be like a Renaissance painter that went wrong, and he ended up
Yeah.
stealing a. I'm not gonna spoil the story, but he ended up stealing a specific item in the game that allowed him to counterfeit money, and he became like one of the biggest money
Yeah.
laundering like pimps, like he said. So it just his whole aesthetic to the character, his voice, the acting, the music, it just all tied together, and it being around Paris with what we know is in that universe the biggest thief in the world. So it just made sense. The whole level, the whole character, everything made sense about that specific song and that specific part of the game.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the Sly Cooper ones. Those are good ass soundtracks too. My last one for games, Undertale. I mean, shout out Toby Fox. The fact that one dude did that whole soundtrack is absolutely insane. And I think I like it because again, the each track is so perfectly curated for the specific boss or bosses that you instantly hear like the first like 5, 10 seconds and you're like, I know exactly who that is. I know the exact attack patterns. Like it's so iconic. And of course, Megalovania, everybody's like go to meme song when they got to lock in, right? My
Yeah,
favorite song though out of the entire soundtrack is the one for Spider Dance, the one for the I think her name is Miss Muffet. That's one of the games that I've never played, but I watch people play, and just because of like how the story is, you kind of spoil it for yourself. But the soundtrack, but is just it's so good. And again, the fact that it was just one guy that did it, it's insane.
yeah, that is kind of crazy. It's so crazy when
Yeah,
people like have these small projects, and I hate to glaze this game again, but like Expedition 33, 17 people worked on the game. The music was from a guy from SoundCloud. Like it's just crazy when you hear stories like you
yeah.
just said, one guy creating something, one small team creating one of the biggest media outlets in gaming is
Well, I
is
mean,
just
shit.
insane.
The iconic fucking the San Andreas, the GTA theme. It's not even like some kid from the West. It's like a Russian kid or like a Swedish kid that made that.
Yeah,
Like one
dude,
of
I
the
didn't
most
even know that.
iconic West Coast beats.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It's just crazy to think about people doing that kind of stuff when it revolves around gaming or any type of media. It's crazy when small teams create iconic things like that. It's almost like yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't even know what to do if I was one person that made that and it ended up blowing up to be one of the biggest things in gaming history.
yeah. Not just like the sound, like the game as a whole. Like it's crazy, crazy.
Yeah, exactly. I have one more game one left. I think it's not really like a game; it's around a game, and I think this has just been, my motive throughout the whole podcast so far, and just because I've been feeling that era, I like I said, I mentioned earlier, waking up watching phase montages was something that I really enjoyed. Just sniping montages, Call of Duty montages back in the day were just it for me. I just I loved consuming that media, and this one is a blue, phase blue, a BO4 montage where he used a song by the Wombats called "Moving to New York." That is probably my favorite COD montage ever.
Oh yeah, oh
I
yeah.
just I really love that game. I really love that era. I don't know why that pod I mean that podcast that montage that we're talking about on the podcast is one of my favorite montages ever. I really I really like that montage. It's probably one of the best ones that I've ever seen. I'm not saying it has like the craziest clips or it's the most well edited. It's just something about the vibe of that video, and maybe it's just him. Maybe he's I do like a lot of his
Yeah.
montages. I just I fuck with that montage.
Yeah, I mean, good editing, good like soundtrack. It'll make it happen. Um, I'll go with the Desperado soundtrack. I'll leave the other one just because it's like not like a soundtrack; it's more of a score. But the Desperado soundtrack. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Desperado. It's one of those like hidden gems, and I think it's just because I'm Mexican and it's about this mariachi dude that has just a crazy time in Mexico. It's part of a whole trilogy. I'd highly recommend uh, peeping it because it's got a lot of like it's got Steve Buscemi in it. It's the Antonio Banderas is the main one. Sama Hayek, Danny Trejo's in it. Um,
Yeah,
Quentin Tarantino,
he's in every
like
movie.
yeah, like all the heavy hitters. But that soundtrack is so good. I think it fits the movie so well, and it has some of the like my favorite like mariachi sounds. Antonio Banderas obviously is on the soundtrack. Carlos Santana, like one of the legends, one of the best to ever pluck strings on the guitar. It's really good. So I would highly
Tim,
recommend not just listening to the
watching the
soundtrack,
movie.
but like the movies too.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Oh, so you've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen the movie. I've seen the
Okay,
movie.
okay, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. It's probably like a Mexican thing. If you're not Mexican, you might not like hear about it because it's like one of those movies where like it's kind of like the same production of the Machete movies where it's like this shit is ridiculous, but it's so good to watch. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's this movie where, and this is no spoilers, but like it's just so stupid that like it makes sense. They pull out like the guitar cases. One of them is a fucking flamethrower. The other one turns into like a machine gun.
Yeah, I was
Like
just
shit
about to
gets
bring that. I
crazy.
was just about to bring that up. Ain't nothing beats
Yeah,
the guitar
yeah.
case
And
becoming a
then one of
machine gun.
them's like a C4, like a remote C4 one.
Dude, yeah, nothing beats that and Zorro, dude. Those are his two best movies.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I've seen it. That's a good. That's a good shout.
Yeah, it's one of those cult classics that we need more people to like hop on.
Yeah, it's like the Mexican Back to the Future, kind of.
Yeah, it really is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
For my last one, it is another. Like I said, I had one more WWE promo. I just fucking decided to say it because we ended up talking about gaming so much, and I wanted to bring up the other topics that we were on. But this last one was a Survivor Series 2002, and the song is called "Always" by Salvia. This promo is sick. This promo to me in WWE is one kind of sick because if I'm not mistaken, I think this promo not only is the song a banger and the edit a banger, this is the first time that they introduced the Elimination Chamber before it was like its own like actual show. So this is the first time that we've seen people do the Elimination Chamber. I don't know if you know what that is in WWE, but it's like that big ass like it's not the steel
The
cage.
cage.
Yeah, but it's like the
Oh, okay.
circular one where they're like in the tubes and like you have to wait
Okay.
for them to come out of the tube kind of. So it starts off with like two people, and then there's four people in the tube, and then the timer goes down. The lights turn off in the stadium, and they start blinking in all four tubes. And then when the solid light hits and you hear the buzz, that means that person is now entering the match. And you do that until everyone is out of their tubes and in the match. And that one is like
Hell
not
yeah.
just like a cage that puts you in a small square. That one has like it's like a circular dome that you're kind of stuck in. So it's super sick. Um, yeah, that also grew to be one of my favorite, matches in general. I also have, you know, one of the magazines that I collected from when, WWE did magazines kind of like Game Informers. And one of my favorite
Yeah.
covers of art or anything is Jeff Hardy. He's promoting the Elimination Chamber, and it's like a picture where he's like underwater, and the chains are all like wrapped up around him and stuff. And Jeff Hardy. I don't know if you know who it is, but like Jeff
Yeah.
Hardy was like iconic. The armbands, the hair color. And he's trapped under the water with these chains around him. It's just one of the best looking promotion pictures, and that all stemmed from this one pay-per-view edit of montage that created the Elimination Chamber. So yeah, that'll be my last piece of music connected to media.
I feel that. I feel that. Yeah, I feel like I saved like my more iconic one for the end. But the Oppenheimer score. It's such a banger, dude. It's not Hans Zimmerman that made the score. It's Ludwig Göransson.
Mm.
Shout out Hans Zimmerman because that boy got bangers like the whole Dark Knight trilogy. But he Ludwig, he's also done. I didn't know this, but he did the score for Black Panther, like both of them.
Oh, I didn't
Also
know
for
that.
Creed. Yeah, also for Creed. I don't know if it's Mando the show or the movie that's coming up, but he's doing one of the two. The Odyssey also. But he's like one of those where like because he's got that Chris Nolan cosign, like it's gonna be a banger. And he did not disappoint in the Oppenheimer one. Like I went to go see that with Biggie.
Mm.
We left that movie theater like questioning life. Like it was so good the way it was all like edited with the music to like go with all the intense moments and like the slow moments. It was really good. Highly recommend picking. Like it was so good that as soon as we got out, I copped the soundtrack, the vinyl for it. It was that good.
Yeah, I mean Christopher Nolan is just he does not miss on movies, and Oppenheimer also was super good. So um, those type of movies just have a feel to them that are just unique. And when you have someone who, like you said, works for Christopher Nolan, it probably makes it feel like it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the Odyssey too. I'm really curious if that's gonna be movie of the year and not next year
I did
or
not expect Travis Scott to be in that shit. Like that's insane.
there. Yeah, there's so many people in it, and like I said, I'm just everyone's anticipating him because when his movies come out, they're just immediate tens. Like they're usually just iconic. So I think that this
Yup.
movie looks like it's gonna be good. We're also getting a preview of what Spider-Man would look like because it has both John Bernthal and Tom Holland in it. So you're gonna see Punisher and Tom Holland work together, or Spider-Man be in the same movie that's not Marvel. So we'll see how their
Yeah.
chemistry aligns in that movie compared to the Spider-Man movie coming out next year. So yeah, that's a good shout. I think that's a cool idea. Oppenheimer was a great movie. So and the soundtrack, obviously, I didn't even think about the score for the soundtrack, but thinking about it, dude, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, especially like like iconic one. I can't remember the name of the actual track, but when he's like thinking and shit, and then he's seeing like all this shit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't know the actual name of it either, but that is a good scene. And nothing beats the meme that came out of Barbenheimer, dude.
hell yeah.
But yeah, I think that is the end of our list. I don't know if you have anything more to add. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Unless you want something to add real quick.
No, because I think we covered all of it.
Yeah, we did all the topics. That's what I said. I don't know if there's any like
Yeah.
last things you want to add or talk about going forward with music,
Oh, like with mine specifically, or just
or
like
just
in general?
in
I guess
general.
with mine specifically, I'm more now wanting to do like beats. Uh, I guess like a little behind the scenes, and we talked about it a little bit after I forget which episode it was, but the way that I want to edit Let's Plays coming up now is how I edited the what was it the Suicide Squad episodes, where it was a recap in the beginning of what happened in the previous episode, and then towards the end you get like a little preview of the following episode, kind of reminiscent of like Saturday cartoons and like just that era of well, I mean, I don't know if it's changed, but just that nostalgic feel from that time period of growing up. And then I want to do like little breaks, kind of like Samurai Champloo. I don't know if you've seen that anime or if anybody listening has seen the anime. Really good. Highly recommend it. But they'll have breaks or like interludes where they'll chop up the scene and it's a transition of like a certain like pick of like the scene or just like a cool like art design or whatever, but they'll have like a drum loop or like a melody that then connects like both scenes. So I want to do that. So I'm trying to learn how to like make beats so I can do that on my own and like not have to like outsource it.
Yeah, that would be sick. I think that would add a unique, thing to your videos. So that would make sense. I think putting that all together on top of an edit would be really, really good.
Yeah, and I wanted to do that because like I wanted it to feel like oh like it's an actual episode for a show and not just like a regular let's play where it's like hey today we're gonna go through like this area or whatever. I mean just adding a little bit more depth to it pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I like the way you did the Suicide Squad videos. I think when we did those videos together, like I said, we talked about it before. It felt like a Saturday morning cartoon. So yeah,
Yeah, and it feels more natural like editing like that because then that way I'm not like okay I need to record for like just 2 hours and then make an episode out of that. I can like either record all day or just like for 30 minutes and then just like have it all synced up. Because that's pretty much what we did. We didn't like be like, okay, like let's get ready for the intro, let's get ready for the outro. We just sat down and played that shit.
yeah, pretty much we just hopped on, dedicated a few hours to playing it every day, and it just felt like we were just playing it as homies. Like it wasn't even like a video at
Yep.
all. We just kind of went through the motion,
Yeah.
and it had some funny moments too. We were dying through it.
I, I still want to know where he put that hat in the beginning because bro
Yeah,
did not have no pockets in that bag.
yeah, that moment was probably one of my favorite things. I also think that the moment where we're
Bro, the
like,
Batman scene.
yeah, where he knocked us out, I was like, oh shit, that shit had me dead. We were just chilling there, and then you just got uppercutted, and I was like, I was lost, dude.
Yeah. And I think I was the only one that got my ass beat. You were like the last one because you were like dead shot, I think.
No, it was Harley. I think it was Harley in the beginning. Oh no, actually, I might have been. I don't know who I was in the thing. I changed my character quite a bit. We played the character a few times. I know I put Harley for
Yeah.
like most of the game when we did it, but I'm trying to think. I did play Deadshot for a little bit too. I don't know. I don't remember. It's so crazy that that game added more characters stuff, but we stopped playing. I just feel like that game had potential to be better than it was, but it was a great not to change anything.
Yeah.
That the way you edited that, I think would be good going forward. Editing your other videos and adding your own beats to it would make it even better.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing like music wise. I've kind of put like rapping on hold just because I do want to like if I do want to continue rapping, I would like to be able to like make my own beats because then it's just a little bit easier I think like on the business side and like money wise like now I don't have to, pay somebody else to do the beat and then like cut the check that way, and then to be able to like make my own beats, then I can, you know, more opportunities to collab. Now I'm not limited to just like being like the vocals. I can also like help like with the producers and like the engineers kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, aside from that, I don't think I have any honorable mentions for soundtracks. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'm kind of out of honorable mentions. I wouldn't be able to
Cause
think of anything else.
yeah, I think those were like good. I don't think there would be like anything else that would pop in my head and be like, oh shit, I probably should have put that one instead of this one. I feel like my list was pretty solid, at least for like what I was going for.
Yeah, the only thing I'd be able to like shout would be like, I do like the new short form content for montages, like whether it's like Valorant or CS:GO. I mean, some of these edits with the transitioning and the lyrics on screen,
Yeah,
all the things you can do inside TikTok have been really fascinating to see when it comes to game montages and gaming culture. That'll probably be the only other thing I can shout. But yeah. Other than that, if it's not else, I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna do the outro. I will let you guys know this won't not be the last music episode we do. I'm not sure how many we do in between our regular episodes. We're kind of just going with the flow. We're like two homies right now, coming up with ideas as we go. So if we have another idea for music episodes, we will. We do already have one more in mind. I don't know how long it'll be before it comes out, but we had an idea that I mentioned to Shinobi where we wanted to copy Hitch a Ride's idea, which is a member of Optic, where he was going to ask people. For him, he asked people in Optic or in the building that they work at to give them their favorite albums off the top of their head, and then you had to simulate that you were going on a car ride, and during that car ride you're going to get about 10 of your friends answers of their favorite albums, and you have to weave out which three or five you're personally taking from their list with you on a car ride if you were traveling somewhere. So we want to do that with our friends, but obviously that takes time for us to get our friends' albums, hear back from everyone, and then once we, get all of our friends' albums, that episode will come out. Me and Julio or Shinobi will sit here and we'll pick all of our friends' albums, and depending on how many we'll have, we'll either pick three or five from our friends' albums. Me and him kind of have to weave through all of them, mostly listen to all of them, try to pick our favorite song from the album. So that episode's gonna take time because it's gonna have to be an episode where we get the album from them, we listen to the album, we pick our favorite song from the album, and we really kind of have to be refreshed with that album. Unless it's an album we obviously know, then we probably won't have to listen. But
Yeah.
for something like me, Julio just did, he kind of listed different albums than what I listed. I'm pretty sure I listed maybe something that he's never heard, or vice versa. It could be a situation like that where we want to listen to the album, really, give our friends our thorough opinion and pick an album because we don't want to like have them give us an album and then us not pick that album and not listen to it. Like like we want to do something like that for you guys. So that episode will take time. But that, like I said, that won't be the only music episode we do, and we want to try to add in other types of media besides just gaming. So obviously, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out now. It has been your boy Drift. Make sure you guys check out my Twitch in the link in the description below. We've been streaming a lot. If you guys are a guest who wants to be on the podcast, as always, DM one of us. Drop a comment in the description or in the video below, and we'll reach back out to you and we'll see if we can set things up. I'm gonna let him do his outro, and then we'll go ahead and hop out.
Yep. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like and subscribe, of course, if you just like, having us in the background or like actually commenting and interacting. We appreciate it either way. But yeah, other than that, peace.